Ting-a-ling-a-lings, I'm back again with a kind of different video, but my sister sent me this video last night and I didn't watch it all the way through because I thought, actually, I'm going to react to this on my channel, because one thing you might not know about me, my nan was abducted by aliens. So it's actually like a big thing back in the day when it happened, and she was on some TV shows talking about it, and have the said TV shows, some clips. Someone 2 years ago put not all but a lot of their television clips together into a video and put it on YouTube, and yeah, my sister found it, so we're gonna watch it. Okay, are you ready?
You too have had some sort of alien encounter, haven't you? Tell us about it.
Very similar, except that we were travelling home along the stretch of road we did regularly.
In a car?
Yes, so there was 3 of us. It was night.
That's my nan. It's so weird seeing my nan in what, like, her, like, just over 40 or something. I'm not too sure, but like, that's crazy.
Time, and as we rounded a bend in the road, there was these lights in front of us. Now the lights were very bright, and you could actually see that the object was round or oval, depending on how you were looking at it.
A spaceship thing?
It was a UFO. We had never seen anything like it before. There was 4 very bright white lights.
All right, so a little bit of context, because they kind of just came straight in. Because obviously I've heard about this, like, growing up, that, like, my nan's abducted by aliens. And she's, like, told us some stuff about it and whatever, but not, again, like, as I'm an adult. So I think it'd be really cool, like, if I could get her on my channel, she'd do, like, an interview with me just to, like, give it firsthand. Looking back on it now, that would be really cool. But yeah, so basically, there was, like, a party with some friends, weren't getting waved or nothing. And then they were driving back on the way home, and it was on their way home at night that then they saw, like, a light. Okay, that's where we're at so far. Let's continue.
1 at each compass point and 2 red lights in the centre. And it was
round?
Yeah, well, round, oval, as I said. If you're looking at it from an angle, it's difficult to say whether it's round or oval. But it was...
She's so well spoken, like, look at my sister said she proper got Princess Diana vibes going on, and she looks so much like, guys, if you've watched the videos that I have my sister in on my shorts, she looks so much like my sister.
It's definitely that shape.
You saw the thing at the same time?
Yes, all 3 of us saw the same thing. Yeah.
You hadn't been drinking? Or?
No.
No? You've never seen this sort of thing before?
Never. No.
Did anything get out of it or talk to you?
No, the car, Vivian, who was driving, tried to speed away from it because we were absolutely terrified.
Yes.
But very excited as well, but absolutely terrified. She put her foot on the accelerator and the car lost power. At which point the object was then in a field next to us, and Valerie and myself were watching it out of the side window. We have no recollection of it going from A to B. Can
you imagine how weird that is? You're literally just driving home with your friends, and then you just see, like, some mad big light in the sky, and then it's like teleports, like, because I'm now thinking it's because I grew up with this nan. But anytime, like, I'm driving alone in the dark, I'm like, this is it, this is the moment they're coming back for me, because I'm a little bit delusional about this. Okay, the abduction, the encounter, whatever you want to call it, the experience happened on my birthday. Obviously this is before I was born, but she got enough grandchildren, she got enough kids. Yeah, could have been anyone's day. It was mine. It was my birthday. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like weirdly connected. So if they're ever coming back for anyone, they're probably going to come back for me. If it happens, best believe I'll tell you guys.
in the road in front of us to being in the field next to us.
It just sort of zapped there.
Well, all we remember, that was our conscious memory, is seeing the lights, then following it down the road, very, as I said, Vivian desperately trying to get the car to respond to her. And then some way down the road, the lights dimmed as if it was taking a surge of power. And it.
So basically, as she's tried to drive off, because they're a bit scared by this light, the accelerator like completely loses power while she's trying to accelerate, and the lights on the car are dimming. That is shook. I'd be very listen, I'd be wishing that I was dreaming, probably.
Gone, and at which point the car picked up speed.
And you thought to yourself, who can we possibly tell?
Well, that's right. Because there was three of us. If there'd only been one, I would never have said anything at all, personally. No. But because there was three of us, then we felt.
And do people believe you?
Some.
Some not.
We take a lot of ridicule, but you get used to it.
Were you?
She even smiled and laughed like my sister then. That's crazy. So the two of them there, that's my nan's best friend. She actually sadly passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace, Val. But yeah, so my nan is Rosemary and her friend is Valerie. And there was actually a third person that was involved, but she was so like shook by what happened. She was so mentally disturbed by what happened. And there's like some mad other stuff that, like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to go into depths in it. So hopefully my nan will, if I manage to get her to let me interview her about it. But she had to like move, like she's gone. It was proper deep. It was crazy.
Hypnotised.
Yes, we were, because we'd lost time. The journey actually took longer than it should have done.
And what did you remember or think you remember under hypnosis?
Very similar to what Maria said. I remember the shuffling feet under hypnosis. That was a...
So they put them under hypnosis. Okay, so basically she goes, she reports it to the police. After it happens, they drive straight to the police station and they report it. Someone then took interest in their case because there's been a string of things that are attached, and I'll show you like a Reddit thing that I found after that my nan is listed on. They went to the police station. Someone took interest in their case, like not like a police officer or anything, but offered to put them under hypnosis individually. So all three of them went under hypnosis and all told their account of what happened to them, but it wasn't in their conscious memory. But I'm pretty sure, like, I watched a little. She might talk about it. I'm not sure.
A big thing. Similar things to she's described, the 3 to 4 foot things that weren't actually humanoid or anything like that, more like robots.
Taking bits of you?
No, Vivian actually claims to have been examined under hypnosis. We had a different experience.
So they just shuffled around and then left you alone?
They looked at us, they took us into a room where we were put into some sort of machine. But this is all under hypnosis. This is what we've learned under hypnosis.
I'm afraid, I mean...
It doesn't, I mean, even like the same as Alan Godfrey's just said, it's difficult for us to believe, so we don't expect other people to believe it because it's, you know, it's something that you just think, you know, if this actually...
Imagine going under hypnosis and suddenly having a whole, like, recollect of an encounter with a UFO. Like, you thought you just seen lights and then weirdly, like, time has passed and you can't explain it. And then to go under hypnosis and have, like, a full, like, memory unlock. That shit might send me into psychosis. Like, I don't know how she's so chill. The fuck
happened. What is the point of us making it up? Our experience was 14 years ago.
Go on, Rosemary. I'll let them clap.
Would we really have gone through 14 years of being ridiculed by several people, newspapers, all types of people? Would we put ourselves through that if we didn't have something?
Mm-hmm.
It's real though. They had a lot of interest. They were on like different like This Morning shows and stuff like that. And my dad said like he even came home from school and there was like reporters there and they were speaking to him. And he was in like one of the articles, or I don't know whether it was like a written article or like a televised one. I didn't ask too many questions back then. But you see, when you're really young, you don't ask the right questions.
Describing being taken by some energy, blue light, by these small humanoid beings into spacecraft, subjected to these complex procedures, and they were not in touch with each other. They had physical marks on their bodies afterwards that corresponded to where they were probed, and there's nothing in my experience as a psychiatrist that operates
and
like that.
They didn't strike you as barking because, no, seriously, because no, don't worry, no, it's not. Because what I want to say is we've done phone-ins and I've listened to phone-ins and read articles.
It's mad, like this is like another few years on. Clearly, it's crazy seeing like the style and like the fashion and stuff.
People who've been through these experiences before, and I'm always struck with the paradox. One, what they're saying is frankly unbelievable,
right,
but they sound totally believable.
Exactly. In other words, here was this paradox of these people who are, as far as I could tell, I've investigated 90 of these cases now, sound of mind, completely believable, not believing it themselves, telling me with great doubt, not trying to claim anything or sell me anything. In fact, rather disturbed when they would hear there were other people who'd had the same experiences, because that would blow their...
I'm just having like a proper weird moment now, like, you know, and you just think of like your mum and dad as your mum and dad and your nan as your nan, and you don't think they're a whole ass person. Like, my nan's been sat on all these like like, I'm just deep in this. Yo, if that was like, bro, sorry, let me reiterate, when I'm a grandma and I can tell my grandkids ain't hearing the last of it. I will literally constantly be like, oh, and remember when I said this in a rap battle, and remember when I did this, and remember when I performed here, or remember when I was on the, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be saying everything.
Their denial, wanting to believe it was a dream. A point in the interview where I would say, well, tell me what happened. And they would say, well, I was in my bedroom watching TV, and then this blue light, and I said, well, you didn't say you'd been asleep. And then tears would come down their cheeks, and there would be this moment of shock because they would realize it wasn't a dream. Something had really happened.
Well, look, you two actually shared an experience together with a third friend who's now, she's gone to live in Canada or somewhere, hasn't she? Sort of, because she's actually was genuinely very upset by
Canada.
Back in 1982, just to summarise, you'd all been out to a nightclub, but you had not been drinking.
That's right.
This is hand on heart. You'd not been drinking.
That's right.
Well, you've been drinking Coca-Cola.
Yes,
Right.
that's all. Well, as we were travelling home,
You'd been drinking Coca-Cola. I can't, man, the way they talk.
same journey as we did every week, we just saw some strange lights in the sky. That's all we thought it was to start with, except that the lights were extremely bright, and you could see that the base of this craft or object was either round or oval.
And you all three of you saw it?
Yes, because we all drew what we saw about 2 weeks later when an investigator spoke to us about it.
So what happened next?
The car lost power. We followed it down the road, it disappeared, and we reported it at the local police station because there was 3 of us. Had there only been 1 of us, we never would have done.
Yeah.
But because there was 3. Later on, about 2 weeks later, it was discovered that the journey had actually taken longer.
So hang on, so by the time you reported it to the police station, which seemed to you within minutes of you're actually leaving the nightclub.
Yeah, well,
actually you found that hours had passed.
Well, we didn't, but the investigator did when he came and interviewed us.
He saw a discrepancy between what you
Yes.
saw as the time scale and what the
Because when we
actual
got to
time
the police
was.
station, we looked at our watches, obviously thinking, oh, what are they going to think going in at this time in the morning?
Yeah.
And also because they logged the time that we went in.
So how did you discover what had happened in those lost hours?
Well, tell us.
Harry Harris, solicitor from Manchester, who's a UFO investigator, got in touch with us and asked us whether we would agree to undergo hypnotic regression.
Right.
We were a bit sort of...
You see, actually, like, you tell us because my nan is doing all the talking, yeah. Maybe that's where I get it from.
dubious about it, but we eventually agreed to go.
You went. Now, which of you...
It's very weird seeing Valerie, like, at that age as well, because I only... Like, my memory of her is like her final years, you know what I mean? So it's quite mad.
Whether we would agree to undergo hypnotic regression.
Right.
We were a bit sort of dubious about it, but we eventually agreed to go.
You went. Now, which of you... One of you had difficulty, actually.
Yes, that was me.
Was that you?
Yes.
What did you... When you went under hypnosis, what did you remember?
Once you actually get through the conscious memory, the first experience was just to experience very strange body changes, of which frightened me, and they brought me out of it.
That would be me. I'd feel like you start to put me under hypnosis and I would just bug out, because the same with, like, you know, like astral projection and that, like, I've found myself doing that a lot, like not trying, I naturally do it sometimes, and when that happens, I find the sensation is like very scary, like, and I will sometimes fight for it to not happen, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's a very scary bodily sensation, like.
The second time they took me through that fear until I described being in a room alone and being extremely frightened, not knowing where Valerie was.
This is like some Stranger Things. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you guys watched Stranger Things? And the craziest thing is the town is literally my Hawkins, my surname, Rosemary Hawkins, you know what I'm saying? But Stranger Things, I love that. But you know, they're like pushed you through the fear, like through hypnotic, it's like, and then you're in a room and like, I'm just picturing like 11 with a shaved head.
Vivian were. There was a doorway in the room and a table. They asked me to look through the door and I refused, and then I said I could hear someone coming, and I was extremely frightened, but I got onto the table, and they said, why are you getting on the table? And I said, because I know I've got to. And they said,
God, that gave me like chills. That's weird. You got
how do you know? And I said, I just know. And then I was looked at by 6 robot type creatures.
Robots?
Robots.
What,
that's how I did.
sort of robots with
No,
hands
they
and
were
arms?
definitely robots. They got no features, because they said, well, how do you know they're looking at you? And I said, well, I can tell that they're looking at me, because they didn't touch me or anything.
But what I mean is, were they robots built in the shape?
It must be so hard trying to like say what you saw, like, because when I compare it to like when I try and explain what I saw when I was like, on DMT or whatever, it's like a different part of your consciousness, and it's very hard to accurately relay what I saw so that people can understand the picture.
In the rough shape, like a crash dummy, you know.
They got round type heads, round bodies on round coasters.
Right.
And that
Made
was
of
it.
metal?
Yes, yeah.
So-
Nothing about them that looked humanoid or anything like that.
But then two other beings,
Humanoid, like what?
much more humanoid beings, came into the room.
They keep saying humanoid so much that it's not even sounding like a word to me anymore.
No, that was with Valerie.
So your memories were kind of different.
Our stories were totally different at this point, all three of us.
Yeah. And what were the beings who came when you went into hypnosis?
They were sort of 6 foot tall. There was a male and a female. I've been asked, how did you know? And I thought, well, I just knew that they were male and female.
And the female tried on your shoes.
Yeah, well, they seemed very interested in my clothes, what I was wearing, and the female tried on my shoes.
Were they humanoid? Did they look like us?
Yes, apart from they got very...
We were there.
their eyes were very sort of bright blue.
Right. Now, to come back to you, John.
What's crazy is that, like, if you guys know about, if you've done the rabbit hole into like UFOs or whatever, there's different types, and it's kind of mad that individually it's like they had encounter with different types. So what, do they all be on the ship together? Like, is the light just, like, what? I got so many questions.
Is that kind of experience, that although these two ladies aren't in your book, because obviously you did your research in America, is that a common story, this feeling of being examined somehow?
Yes, that part's common. The terror, the kind of pushing through the terror. The beings they're describing are not typical of the most common type in the United States, which tend to be smaller, 3.5 to 4 feet tall, with these huge black eyes.
That's what Vivian saw.
That's what Vivian saw.
Vivian saw.
So, but there are other types described.
So the third girl saw something different. So my nan's saying that she saw, why is my nose so tickly? It's actually killing me. I actually just need to properly itch it. Or okay, better now. So my nan saw what? Robot ones. She saw like humanoid ones that had like bright blue eyes, and then Vivian saw like short ones, like big black eyes, like
Taller, luminous ones, more robotic ones, like she described, are also seen more reptilian.
So what conclusions are we drawing from this? If these people aren't hallucinating, if they're not part of some kind of mass psychosis, if they are experiencing something, what's your conjecture?
Now, of course, that's a 64 billion pound question. I mean,
we can't pay you for answering that.
I mean, I've finally come after thousands of hours. I was told for 2 years, don't say what you think here. Don't say what you think. Just say, I don't know, you know. But after a while, the pattern becomes so powerful, so dense, that the only thing, I mean, no kind of psychiatric illness, so not hallucinating, fantasying, some other kind of trauma, none of it begins to work, because you have the UFOs, you have the cuts, the scoop marks, the independent witnessing, the people are absent. So some kind of another intelligence.
So what he's saying is that other people that have had described physical experience they've matched with marks that have been on their body after, which is mad interesting, because stuff like that happened to Vivian, who was the third girl. That's why she's so messed up by it.
Seems to be trying to knock on our doors to get through to us.
Something here.
Like the crop patterns you have here too.
Why do we must sort of wrap this up and carry on later in the programme, because we're taking our phone in on it, but why do it in such a kind of small and individual way? If there really is another intelligence, why not sort of suddenly come down here and say, hey, you know, I'm here on national...
Like, he can answer the question, is he the UFO? Like, why is she asking him a question that is for them? What?
Television
or
something.
Right. Well, we like things this way or that way, you know. It's a subtle matter. It's perhaps preparing us slowly, gradually, letting us, because if they kind of showed up en masse, we'd panic or send out the RAF or something.
Years ago, didn't you? Can you tell us about that?
That's right, it's 14 years ago now. Our conscious memories of actually seeing the UFO were all identical.
Where did this happen?
In Shropshire, along the A5, between Shrewsbury and Wellington.
Did you all have the same account?
Our accounts weren't identical.
What was different about them?
Well, for a start off, we weren't together. When we were taken on board the craft, we were put into separate rooms. Under hypnosis, our stories were different, but when they were put together, then they did make a whole.
And you were all hypnotised?
Yes, by...
I remember my dad said that he, like, for like show and tell, like in school, he took in like the sound recordings of them under hypnosis, and he said like it was like, and like the transcript and stuff, and apparently like it proper spooked people out. I just think it's so interesting, like, why them? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, But what's interesting is all these things I used to be able to find on Google, and then they were all taken off. So that makes me
3 different doctors on different occasions as well.
By 3 different doctors
Yes.
on different occasions?
Yes.
And what's similar about it?
That the story just gels together when you see the tapes and when you find out everything that's come out under hypnosis. This is 10 years of hypnosis.
What did the doctors think? Do they
Well,
believe in UFOs?
No, they didn't. But I think I have reason to believe that they had different opinions afterwards.
And what do you say to people, who think that this is all weird?
Well, yeah, it is weird. I mean, we still think it's weird. I mean, this is something that is unusual. I mean, it doesn't happen to everybody. Unless you've actually seen something, then of course you're not going to believe. It's not easy to believe something unless you've seen it.
Okay.
That's the whole video of the clips about my nan. That's actually crazy. I've just got so many questions after watching that. I definitely need to get on her case and be like, yo, Nan, I need you to answer all the questions. I've got so many. And so I searched on Google and I couldn't find anything. So then I went on, I was like, what am I doing on Google? So then I went over to DuckDuckGo, and this one that I found is like an article about her, and it was actually done in 2008 when she just did like a recall of the ordeal. But I don't know who created this webpage, because why would you have the font like this? Like I have to highlight to be able to see it. She recalled her sightings. I can drop the link in the comments if you guys want to go read it. And then the Reddit thing that I wanted to show you that I found. Again, I found this on DuckDuckGo. It's basically, it talks about unraveling the enigma of UFO encounters from 1980 to 1999. And it literally starts listing all of them. So you got the timelines, 1980, 1981, and the one that I've clicked on, that's theirs in 1981. 16th of July, 1981. I just think that's crazy. Like, do I believe that? Of course I believe it. I believe there's so many unexplainable things that can happen. And all 3 of them to have gone through that at the same night is mad. Like the whole hypnosis thing is like crazy. Like I'd either go into psychosis from it, or I'm convinced they wouldn't be able to put me under hypnosis because I'm too in control of my own brain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like maybe that's just me thinking I'd like delusionally have superpowers. But I'll put the link to this in the comments as well if you guys want to check it out. And in case I do get the opportunity to do this with my nan and get her on my channel, let me know what questions you would have. But thank you for watching that different type of reaction video with me, guys. I've got more sort of stuff coming on the way. And yeah, that was a whole different part of like my family history there. And it's crazy how like big this was, like when it happened, you know what I'm saying? Like even people that are still studying UFOs today from all over the world, they be coming across like my nan's one. It's down in history. And you know the field that they saw it like over next to, like the driving down the road, there's a field next to it. That field has had crop circle sightings on there before as well, which I think is just great. It just adds to it. There's just so many different layers. So yeah, man, proper interesting. But thank you guys for watching. Over and out.